ジョーの野郎。鬼姫が完全にぶっ潰しやがって。
Oh my god. Hello everyone, welcome to Joe Consumes Cinema. I'm your host, One More for the Road, and today we have Ashita no Joe, episode 79, the conclusion to season 1. So we got a lot riding on, the conclusion of this fight. This, I think, might be the springboard, starting season 2 very shortly after this, where, if Joe's successful here, then, it's on to the world. He suddenly becomes a fighter who was, pretty much a no-name except in Japan, to all of a sudden, defeating Carlos the Terror Rivera. So, yeah, it could be a huge opportunity to kind of springboard his career, and Season 2 could be like, international fights. Joe up against all these other top great fighters all over the world who have only heard about this fight, and, that promoter guy, Henry the Hyena, could be like the witness to, the launching of this great new talent that, all the other fighters are going to want a piece of. So, yeah, it could be something like that. Or it could be a situation where, maybe this is like meant as the conclusion to Joe's story, and maybe it ends in like a draw or something crazy, or even, potentially loses. I think he's going to win. It's going to be very difficult to get there, but, I'm leaning more towards springboard, with a big victory, and then he challenges the world in season 2. Or, maybe like season 2 is like a retcon or something. I don't know, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but people have told me to skip this part of Ashita no Joe, and I'm guessing, given the fact that this is such an important fight, it's like, why would they tell me to skip this? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't make sense in the back of my mind. But, I'm just trying to kind of wiggle the pieces around to make them fit. I'm honestly just guessing, but there's only one way to find out, and I'm very eager to get to it. But before we begin, I have a special announcement. This is a special announcement concerning Ashita no Joe Season 2. Regardless of what video reaction you're watching right now, whether it be the end of Ashita no Joe Season 1, or some episode of Ashita no Joe Season 2, right now available on the Joe Consumes Cinema Patreon is the next 8 episodes of Ashita no Joe Season 2. All you have to do is click the link down below, sign up on the Joe Consumes Cinema Patreon for $1 per month, and get early access. Also, all members get a guaranteed movie request as well. With that, enjoy the reaction. Let the shining tomorrow burn in the distance. I think Carlos still has a slight edge, at least in points, but the fact that he surprised him is going to make him second guess for a little bit, I think. Quick reminder to like, comment, share, subscribe. Also consider signing up for my Patreon for $1 per month. You get access to all my exclusive reactions, also a guaranteed movie request. With that, let's get right back to the reactions. Carlos is mixing in feints. Oh, good shot. It's a trap. He threw wide on purpose and then, tripped himself, falling into the ropes. That's one hell of a trick, by the way. He's going for it anyway. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, dear God. That's bad. Oh my god, he pulled him into that with the rope. Oh my god, it's a ring out. He landed on the concrete. Oh my god. You cannot touch the fighter that falls out. They have to get back up and into the ring on their own power. Oh my god, he's not moving.
やるじゃねえか。カーロス・リベラの旦那よ。
Come on, Joe. He just beat it.
おいレフリー、何をボケっとするんだい。試合を再開しろ、試合を。はい。
Oh, thank God. That was bad. Ring outs almost never happen, but when they do, usually it's over. Did he just catch him?
しっかりしろ。勝負はこれからだ。そんなに焦るなよ。それに。
Huh. What did he say?
ロープ際だの肘打ちだの細かい小細工はもう飽き飽きだとよ。つまりこの俺と小細工なしの大きな勝負をやろうって抜かしやがったんだ。
So now they're just gonna beat the hell out of each other? In the middle of the ring? Oh shit. Oh my god. They're just rock'em sock'em robotsing it.
二人ともリング中央に足を止め合い、相手のパンチを避けようともせず。
That's a good way to get brain damage, honestly.
Stop!
Oh god. They're still throwing. They don't even give a shit about the belt. Break them up.
おい、二人ともやめか。カーロス、ゴングはもう鳴ったんだぞ。もういい、二人ともやめてくれ。俺たちの戦いにゴングなんていらないはずだぜ。
Jesus.
これはもうボクシングではないわ。ボクシングなどというちっぽけな世界をはるかに超えてしまっている何かが。
Jesus. I've never seen them happier. Jesus. Oh my god. What the hell did we do? The double knockdown occurred not even during a round.
誰が何と言おうとお前たちこそ本当の世界チャンピオンだ。そうだ、四角いジャングルの王者だ。よくやったぜヤンキジョー。よくやったぜカーロス。
今日の試合見せたかったわ、力石君。あなたがかつてその全てをかけた男、矢吹城はやはり素晴らしい本物だったわ。
力石かい。
え？
あいつ今頃地獄の底で閻魔様にごねてるんじゃないかな。俺もカーロスと一戦交えてみてとかなんとか言ってよ。
I like that.
このちっちゃな四角いジャングルで二度までも俺は芯から燃え尽くすことができた。ありがとうよ。心から礼を言うぜ。
待って矢吹君、私の車で涙橋まで送るわ。
ジョー矢吹は今では私の親友だ。親友の間にさよならはいらない。いつでも心の中にいるのだから。ナイスボーイ、グッドラックジョー。
彼は旅に出ました。
Huh?
私止めたんですが、 行ってしまいました。
おっちゃん、俺はまた旅に出ます。理由はこれと言ってないんだけど、ただなんとなくそんな気分になっちまったんだ。
いろいろ迷惑かけたけどよ、それはお互い様ってことにしとくぜ。ただたった一つ気になるのは、おっさんが俺に期待して世界を目指してくれって言ったことなんだが、悪いが俺にはどうも世界チャンピオンってのはピンとこねえんだ。まあ柄じゃねえってわけだ。すまねえ、勘弁してくれよな。縁があったらまた会おうぜ。グッバイ。
矢吹くんはきっと生まれた時からの風来坊なのよ。それが何かの間違いで私たちのそばに少しいただけなんだわ。
強がってかっこのいいこと言ってるが、本当は寂しがり屋の照れ屋のとんでもねえ泣き虫だってことはわしが一番よく知っとるんで。奴は帰ってくる。またこの涙橋へ帰ってくるとも。矢吹城って男が精一杯今日という日を生きて巡る明日がある限り、奴が明日の城である限りはな。
Okay, I took some time just to gather my thoughts. Episode 79 and the conclusion to Ashita no Joe Season 1. So, I'm kind of all over the place with this one. Like, the fight was really cool, but I guess it technically ended in, like, a no contest because, Joe set that trap against the rope again, and this time Carlos came up with a little bit of a different plan to deal with the, I guess, rope-a-dope technique that Joe was using, where he followed through with the right, and then instead of, actually trying to hit Joe, he just grabs the ropes, pulls him toward him, and then hits him with the left. Left uppercut as Joe's leaning forward, and literally knocked him outside of the ring, which ring outs are really rare and really tough because Joe literally landed on concrete there. And the fact that he actually got back into the ring and then got up beating the 10 count, just amazing stuff. Then the bell rings to end the second round, and they have a little moment where Carlos basically tells him, I don't want any more gimmicks in the rest of this fight. I just want to fight it clean, with no excuses or, any tricks or anything like that. Just like, who's the better man? So the next round, they literally come out and they just stand in the center of the ring, plant their feet basically and just start throwing punches at one another. They're taking so much damage throughout the entire round. It's like insane. And then the bell rings and they're still throwing punches at one another. And they both agree, we don't need a bell for our fight. We can just keep going. Now, the crowd, loves it. It's absolutely insane, but it's definitely a very manly display. And finally, after what feels like another minute after the third round had ended, the two finally fall down together. And it's like, well, it didn't happen during a round, so I guess that fight technically ends in no contest. But the audience didn't care. Joe and Carlos didn't care. They were both happy with the result. It was something that kind of like transcended more than just, a dispute in boxing. Like went even beyond that, and it moved, Yoko to tears. Everybody else was cheering their brains out. And it was this kind of like clever way of giving us a conclusion without, tarnishing either one of them. Like if Carlos lost this fight, then, his chances of ever really challenging for a title are probably slim to none. If Joe had won the fight, I would say, springboard into challenging for the world. But, it didn't happen that way. Instead, we get this kind of mixed ending, whereas, like, feel good all around, but, not really a conclusion. So I kind of understand why there ended up being a season 2. And, it kind of feels weird, because in the back of my mind, I had this information that, half the audience has just been telling me after episode 54, just skip and start season 2. So is there, like, a retcon to start out season 2? Or some other mechanism that gets Joe to come back, because I know he's going to challenge, other bigger fighters in season 2. Like, it has to increase the stakes somehow, so that would be, he stayed his entire time pretty much in Japan here, so that means, international fights, challenging for the world title matches, that type of thing. So yeah, it's this weird situation where I actually really enjoyed the episode and just the conclusion to the season in general. But I also understand if there's a retcon, why there was a retcon, because this is kind of like a non-ending ending where it's more like, stay tuned because more is to come. Now, don't get me wrong. I love season 1. It was amazing. I want to do a full, like, in-depth analysis and breakdown of the entire, season 1 Ashita no Joe. Not going to do it here, obviously, because I want to make it like an entire video on it with like visuals and all that stuff. But, just an awesome show. And, Joe, right after the conclusion of the fight, has that great conversation with Yoko. And he outright just, thanks her for all that she's done. And she's, finally in a place where, she's confident that Rikishi would have loved this. And Joe says that great line that Rikishi's probably laughing in hell, saying, I want to fight Carlos. Why can't I get a crack at him? That type of thing. The two of them both laugh their asses off there. And then to end things out completely, in classic Yabuki Joe fashion, he just wanders off into the sunset, chasing the next tomorrow, his next goal in life, whatever it is. He tells Dangpei that, world titles are not for him. He basically says, sorry for giving you so much trouble, but I guess it was mutual. They have a really cool relationship, and then ends with Joe walking off into the sunset and Dangpei saying, he'll be back. The wind will change again and it'll blow him back over Namita Bridge. So, yeah, really cool send-off, and definitely can see how it would set up, or at least leave an opening for, another season of the show. And, yeah, it was fantastic. I loved it. I loved basically every episode. Even the stuff where I was complaining after Joe, the whole hang-up with Rikishi's ghost and all that, I still enjoyed watching it even then, even though I was complaining a lot. Still really, really good. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for now. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.